Hello and welcome to another video. In this video I'll be making some chocolate chip banana bread. So here's what you're going to need. Half cup margarine, 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs. You can also add a 1/4 cup of chopped nuts if you like nuts. 3 bananas, which are better to have really ripe, brown, smushy ones. 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and we also add, it's not in the recipe, half bag of chocolate chips. Which, with chocolate chips, they don't really have to be exactly half bag. You're not going to be weighing 5 ounces just to see. So now, the first step to do is to cream the margarine and sugar. Now, you can use butter if you want, and it's normally about, at least in this case, it's 1 stick. You're going to want your little mini sort of blender, or you can use, if you don't have one of these, one of your big KitchenAids. I know that some of the older ones actually have a cream setting on it. This one does not. Most newer ones don't have it. Yours would probably have to be 30 years old to have it. And now we are going to add our 1 cup of sugar. And that, if you're wondering, is just the oven. We have preheated it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, if you're wondering. Now, what we like to use, sometimes we use a scooper or something else. I'm just going to use a tablespoon size to scoop it in, because this doesn't actually fit in for us. And if you're wondering, any of the brands of products that you see on this table did not sponsor this video at all. So we're almost done. And this recipe is pretty simple compared to other recipes. So here we are. You can also do 1/2 cup brown sugar and 1/2 cup white sugar. We're just gonna try to not messily do this. Not doing as good a job as I could have been doing. Here we go, that's good enough. Tiny bit extra sugar is not going to do anything. And now we have to plug in carefully our mixer. You're going to want 1 big bowl for all of your stuff, and we're going to have to cream it. So we always want to start on low. And it's coming into little chunks here. So now we are cracking the eggs. This is the 2nd egg. And let's see how good of a job I do. Sometimes I don't crack eggs pretty well, but it looks like I didn't get any shells. I'm not really that much of a professional egg cracker. New garbage disposal these days make you throw it out in the trash. You can't even put it down in the garbage disposal. And whenever you do something like this, so no more eggs, put it in the sink. You always want to wash your hands very well after you touch raw eggs. Now, I would definitely not recommend putting raw eggs in your mouth like people used to do. And you also want to keep your eggs refrigerated. And later, we are going to Lysol clean all of this up. Clorox it. You always want to put your eggs right back in the fridge. Quite a lot of stuff in our fridge. So now, let's see what the recipe says. We now have to add the vanilla, which we have right here. 1 teaspoon. Now the way that I cut this, I didn't do that great of a job, so it's going to drop in oddly. You always want to do it over the bowl whenever you're dropping something in. Yep, you see it's not going off, but that was about that much. Just that the slit at the top was not made in such a great way. You always want to wipe it off. I know some people in my family just put dirty stuff in all their cabinets and handles and sink faucets get all grimy, their hands stay grimy, but I like to clean everything off. And if you're wondering who I'm talking about, it's my grandmother. So now we're going to add the bananas. So how do you do this? I'm gonna peel them off. They should be easier to peel. Put them in. Some people will possibly beat the eggs before you do that. That could be easier to do. 3 bananas. I don't know if you could keep the banana peels, maybe feed them to deer down the road or something. I don't know. Most people probably don't keep banana peels, so you can just throw them in the trash. They're much easier to open up when they are soft. Oh, great. Since that only dropped on the floor for 1 second, everything badly is going on here. We are going to throw it out, but you always want to have an extra banana, you see? That was not planned, but it's a great thing to happen in the video. And I'll probably eat the second half of this. Very careful here. I'll eat the second half of this later. Now, if your hands are sticky, you still, if it's just banana, you don't have to use soap. Still wash it off. And actually, it's better to use something like this. Help save the environment and don't use so many paper towels. Now, we are going to mix well. So, I'm still going to put it on low because this mixer likes to spray, and I can already feel it spraying a little egg. You can see it's getting all mixed up with the banana. It's pretty yellow. But when we bake this, you'll see that it will end up being more brown. That looks pretty decent for banana bread. Another thing you're going to have to do, doesn't even say it in this recipe, but you always want to do normally, is to coat your pans with oil and then flour. So we're going to spray carefully around and on the sides. I know this oil can is running out. You're going to take the slightest bit of flour. It's okay to do a little too much, because it will come off. We're going to walk over here to the sink, and you're going to shake this flour around in the pan. Some of it will cake onto the bottom, but that's okay. And then the excess will just come off. There we go. And now we are going to add the baking soda, which I don't really want vanilla to get in my baking soda. So you don't want to be sloppy. I'm just going to wash and dry this a little bit for our baking soda, which is also 1 teaspoon. There we go. Put it in. Now we have to add our flour, which is 2 cups. And I'm not going to make you sit through all this. So now we put our 2 cups of flour in. We're just going to, it doesn't even say this in the recipe, but sometimes you have to do stuff that seems right. So we are going to mix the flour in. You know what you do, if some gets caked on the edge, take your spatula, which we're also going to use later, and get it off the edge a little, like that. It is important to hold the bowl, which I'm not doing a great job of really likes caking. Now for the chocolate chips, probably the part that most people like the most. Just pinch around where half the bag is. Maybe put your finger there, and you can just dump in the rest. And then we will mix it in, so you can dump it all in one spot. You can always do a few extra. You can always eat one if your hands are not covered in raw egg. Which my hands are a little bit. They got a little bit of the batter on it. I know I am very picky about the raw egg stuff. And now we will. Actually, we can just mix this in a little with the spatula. We don't even need this. Let's just mix it in a little with the spatula. I don't want it to grind up our chocolate chips. Something like that. That looks pretty good. Now we're gonna move this a little over. Take our pan. Now, first let's just dump it in. Since it's not cake, we only have one pan. And then when you get to a point like that, just gonna grab it in a different area. Use your spatula. Get all of it out. Why waste a lot of it? It's still in your bowl. Next, we are going to just smooth it out if there are any sections that have more than others, which ours looks pretty good. It will always flatten out normally. Now, check if your oven is preheated. If it is, take out your baking mitts. These are pretty good ones. Make sure that the middle tray is in a good spot. Open your oven. Make sure you don't have little kids running around or someone that's going to trip over it. Don't put your legs against the oven because it's pretty hot. And then we're going to slide it in to the middle like that. Close it. We're going to check how much time. Bake for 1 hour. And now, Alexa, set a timer for 60 minutes. Or you could always do it on your oven or microwave or whatever you want on your phone. Or on your watch too. So let's see how it is when it's done. Now, one thing you can do while the thing is baking, you can unplug your things like this. This one has an interesting feature where I can actually just push a little button. There it goes. This is clean. I won't even wash this. You don't want to normally wash electric things. And now you're just going to move away your ingredients before you do this too. First move them away, and you're going to put all your stuff in the sink and everything, and I'll show you what to do after that. I just wanted to show you an easy way to disinfect and clean countertops. First thing you're going to do, this is a pretty big step process. You're going to quickly wipe down if there are any crumbs or anything like that. I know we only used up to here of the counter. Or any liquids that could possibly even be egg. So now it's basically dry. Now you're going to take your Lysol wipe, or you don't have to use Lysol, they did not pay for this video. You can use Clorox, you could use towel with water and soap, maybe. I wouldn't really recommend that though. And then you wipe down all the surfaces that you use. You can even wipe down the other surfaces too, just to be even cleaner. Just especially where you think eggs could have been. Here we go. If you do that, you're going to get a wet paper towel. Not very wet, not dripping wet. Now you go over this with wet paper towel because you don't want to be really eating the Lysol that's on your counter. Because it has a lot of harsh chemicals in it. I don't want to be eating. Now you're going to take your paper towel and just wipe it all dry so you don't have wet countertops. And look at that, in like 2 minutes, your counters are transformed from being very dirty to squeaky clean. Now let's go see, when it's done baking, how the banana bread is. Let's see what it looks like 40 minutes in. It's still 20 minutes to go. It looks pretty good. We will still need to see how it tastes. So now it has been in the oven for quite a while, and I have already checked before, so I put it in like for another 25 minutes. And now it looks pretty much done, but we do have to test it first. Take one of your stick things like this, and careful. Now if it comes out like this, and there is chocolate in it, there's no like big crumbs stuck on it like it was before. So it's done. So what we're gonna do is let's take it out. You always want to put it on this. Don't always put it right on your countertop. It will have to cool. And you can shut off your oven. This oven does a process where it like stays warm since it doesn't know if you're keeping your food in it. We'll let it cool down, and we'll do a little taste test. So now it was finally made in the oven, and we popped it out. First, we turned it onto this, which is a cookie rack, which can actually stand up much more. Probably see this in the future, putting cookies on it. Flip that onto this, which we can also later close up. Now we're gonna cut a piece and try it. Looks good. Let me get a fork. Just at the corners are though. Tastes pretty good. Probably have chocolate on my lips, but. So this is a great recipe. Now you know how to make it at your house, or apartment, or condo, wherever you live. And thank you for watching this video. You can always subscribe below, and have a great day.